I want to share something that I dreamed on 9/22/2015 in the early morning hours. I'll say I wasn't thinking about this when I went to sleep. I hadn't really been thinking about it in the previous weeks. But here's what happened. Is in the dream I walked into an old church. It was a large church, one I used to go to. As I stepped through the doors, it was crowded with excitement and anticipation. I was looked at rudely by some church leaders holding the door. The reason being was Pope Francis was the speaker, and I just stepped up on his bulletproof golf cart style car. I'd like stepped up into it as I opened the door. The, this bulletproof car was about to escort him to the pulpit. As I crossed through it and stepped off of it to take my seat, I was given scolding looks from modern day pastors and charismatic church leadership. The looks was that of, how dare him step on the Pope's ride? How dare him get up on the Pope's vehicle and cross through it? I was then confronted by the Pope's escorts as they approached me. They started to question me, but they just looked me in the eyes and they walked off. They let me go to my seat. The church was the most crowded I had ever seen it. It was packed with Christians and Muslims. The message coming from the Pope was that of Antichrist in nature, one of coexist. I watched excitement build from the Muslims as they rallied with signs and protest from the church pews. Not only did it give Islam great joy to be backed and accepted by Pope Francis and Christianity, it gave them a feeling of entitlement to accelerate their beliefs and their radical barbaric behavior and hostility in the church towards anyone who would not accept the New World Order. There was a sense of peace that permeated the message, but I knew it was false. Like Old Faithful, I could tell this geyser was going to blow. I could tell that this peace was not real and it would be short lived. There was way more to this dream that I don't fully understand, but I will share some of it anyways. As I sat in the pew spectating, I watched Christians and Americans fall into a trance. The herb sage was being passed around. A believer turned around to me and said, "Don't inhale the sage. Don't smoke it. It will get you high, but it will dehydrate you." Another believer turned to me and said, "It's deadly." I watched people all around me nodding off and staring like zombies. Yet Islam rejoiced and praised from the Christian church pews. I was then taken to another scene. I was driving down the road with a fellow brother in the faith. We were riding past normal American houses through a neighborhood. The scene went from houses to like a country scene of the woods and fields. And then I found myself pulling up on a back entrance to a national park. We were both surprised as we didn't expect to find any park in this area, and then I woke up. I feel this national park could represent a place of refuge and protection in spirit for those who would not compromise in this hour. It could also be a place of major future activity that I don't know. In the dream, the national park was Yellowstone. I don't know what the significance to that is, but that's what it was. I just want people to be encouraged. Don't be deceived in this hour. The Bible says they will say peace, peace, where there is no peace, and then sudden destruction will come. So just hold tight and cling to your Lord and Savior.